proud. I'd been a Walkerville cadet, and I'd got a couple of bars on my shoulders and stuff like that, so I felt pretty proud and pretty military. So they put me in charge of the draft going down to Toronto. So I got all the documents and all that, and I'm carrying those. Well, we got into Toronto about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and of course then we got in the truck and went down to Manning Depot and loaded us and got us a bunk, and I'm all the time asking, where's the orderly room? It's closed, it's closed. So here I am with all these documents. What am I going to do with them? So eventually I get up at 7 o'clock the next morning and go around the orderly room, still not open, so I figured, well, I might as well have my breakfast. So I had my breakfast and then went over and I waited until the orderly room opened, which was 8:30. So I went into the orderly room and gave them the documents, thank you, signed for them. So then I headed over to where the parade was. Well, when I got over to the parade, here was about 400 or 500 fellows all lined up in parade and that, and I thought, well, now, I want to be a good little soldier. So I marched around to the back of the parade in the left-hand rank, third one in. There's an opening, so I knew that was where I was supposed to go, so I marched smartly in there, and I came to a halt and stood at ease, and everything was dead silent all the time this was going on. So I no sooner got standing at ease than a voice come out of nowhere, it seemed. And it was the station warrant officer. And of course, everybody knows everybody's afraid of these people. So he just hollered out, he said, that man that just kept tried to creep into my parade, one piece, step back, march. So I stepped back, marched. He marched me all the way around the parade, right up to the front. He hollered me. I'm standing there very rigidly at attention, trying to think, boy. He says, do you know what a blivet is? And I said, no, sir. He says, it's 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound paper bag, and the next time you're late for my parade, he said, I'll bounce one right off your goddamn forehead and I'll get the hell back there. That was my introduction to the Air Force.
Well, in 1945, when the war ended with Germany, we were sent back to Canada for a 30-day leave, and we were to leave for Japan. So we landed in Nova Scotia. The train was there. We were the first ship back, and the train was coming all the way back. It was stopping at all the cities to let these servicemen off. And we stopped at this. I cannot even remember the town where I was at, but it was out the East End. And all the people were all out. Whenever the train stopped, they were there with food and everything to give to the servicemen. Actually, it was wonderful the way they were giving everybody everything, whatever you want to eat or drink. Anyway, we stopped. This fellow and I got off the train to have a cigarette, and all of a sudden, this little, about 3 or 4 year old little girl, coming running up to me and yelling, "Daddy, Daddy!" And I'm, I'm only about 18 at the time, and never been married, so I couldn't figure what she wanted. So she come running out. I bent down and I picked her up, and her mother was there. She said, "Oh," she says, "I'm sorry about this." She said, "You look so much like her dad that even I can't believe how much you look like her dad. She thinks you're her dad." So I went along with the gag. I said, "Okay, honey, I got to get back in the train and head for the station." So as the little girl she was starting to cry, I was putting her down, and the mother, tears were coming down her face, and I couldn't figure what was the matter. She said, well, her dad was just killed about 3 weeks ago. And, tears start coming down my face, and the little girl's crying, and she's crying. I said, I gotta get the hell back on this train. And I've always wondered, whatever happened to that little girl and, the mother and everything. It's just something that's bugged me for years and years. I wonder whatever happened to them. Anyway, it was a sad story to me with no ending. So,
my wife was upstairs in the attic digging things out because we were talking about moving from Moy Avenue out to Southwood Lakes. So that was a start. And she hollered up, "John, I found your uniform." I had never thought about uniform. I had never had any idea where it was. And here it was. She had a, well, they call it bassinets, like for little babies. We had one, but didn't live. And here, all the Army stuff, brand new greatcoat, binoculars, knives, compass, pants, shirts, winter underwear, summer underwear, my tunic and my hat. And so I went upstairs. I couldn't believe it. And I said, "Just a minute, I'm going to put that on." Fit perfect.